Jeffrey's walking into the office for his first day ever in his 9-to-5 job. This is so exciting. I might even smash one of my co-workers. Wait, they're all ugly. They're all obese. Jeffrey sits down next to one of his obese co-workers and asks her, "How long have you worked here for?" 6 years. This is the reality for so many young men. Wake up sleep deprived, get ready, stuck in traffic, work, stuck in traffic, junk food, sleep, wake up sleep deprived, get ready, stuck in traffic, work, stuck in traffic, junk food, sleep, oh no! Isn't there anyone that can save young Jeffrey? Adonis! Adonis sits Jeffrey down and teaches him how to make money online. This is the route to freedom. He shows him all the different kinds of business models that he could do. He trains him until Jeffrey's skill is way higher than the competition. Now Jeffrey wakes up to PayPal and Stripe notifications on his phone. It was all thanks to you, Adonis. You've done it again. Trying to start making money online can be overwhelming because there's so many different business models that you could try. So in this video, I'm gonna help you make the decision easy for you to choose which is the best business model for you, and then I'll also walk you through some tips to get started. My name is Hamza, and I help young men go from the Jeffrey to Adonis transformation. So if you're interested in leveling up your own self-improvement journey from Jeffrey to Adonis, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Firstly, just for fun, I want to talk about how much money I currently make online. I sell 2 programs. One of them is called Library of Adonis. And if I go into the dashboard right now, I make $68,341 from this program every month. $820,000 a month from one program. This is passive, by the way. It requires no extra work from me. I just made some things, I built the audience, and now it sells automatically. $820,000 a year. When you think about like average wage from the country I came from, which is UK, I think the average wage for someone my age is about $25,000 to $30,000 a year. And this one program that I sell for $37, 2,500 guys are in there. They pay monthly to have like the sort of community, my sort of long education that I don't really post to YouTube, and I make $820,000. I think that is more than what 10 or 15 full-time doctors in the UK make. You might be thinking, wait, that's crazy and that's unfair. This is just the game of making money. You have to choose to go into where you have the highest opportunity. And of course, it's not going to be in a normal job, is it? $820,092 per year. Basically, like I'd say probably about 99% profit. Like the expenses for this program would be like almost nothing basically. But then, like I said, I have another one as well. And the other one, I have $47,807 a month. So if we do that, 47,807 times 12 is 573,000. So $500,000 again, basically all profit. This one's a less passive because it's where I review like people's like YouTube channels and I give them advice. So this one takes me like an extra couple hours a week, $500,000 profit basically a year. So far the 820,000 on top of that is 1.3 million a year, or actually what, close to $1.4 million a year, mostly all profit. And then there's just a few random things because I also make money from sort of being an affiliate, right? So I have like a big audience, and so when I have like links in my bio, if I tell people to like sign up to this website, whatever, I make some money from that. So this place that I actually make money from, I right now just in my account balance that I can withdraw, I have $32,127. See the green number at the bottom. That's just how much money I can take out right now that's just been sitting in there. So I have someone's yearly wage just like sat in like some random app just by accident, which I've done zero work for. Being an affiliate, I make $6,224 a month from this website that I'm like a sort of a partner with. So 6,220, let's do that. 6,224 times 12. That's $74,000, almost $75,000 pure profit that I make just because I have like a large audience. People click links, people sign up to programs and stuff. You know, if I tell them like, oh yeah, this is a good thing, they'll sign up to it. And I make almost 75K. Like that's what I think about almost 3 people working full-time in the UK. So imagine someone wakes up like Jeffrey, like sleep deprived. They get ready, they put the gay little shirt and the tie on, and then they commute, and it's, you know, cold in the car, and they drive over to work, it's all cold. Oh, coffee. Oh yeah, like lame conversation with co-workers that you wouldn't even want to like be friends with outside of the office. You work there all day for 8 hours, and then you come home, and then you like need to rest, and then you do it again and again and again and again. And imagine that for a year. Then imagine 3 people doing that, like zoom out over the map. 3 people are doing that full-time, and I make more money than them, basically just passively, like just like this, 75K. That's that. And then finally, the last thing, of course, and you probably know this, is you make money directly from YouTube AdSense. Like how much YouTube pays you just for like the views you get. And it's not crazy, but let's have a look at the last 365 days. I've made £36,000 from this one channel. There. £36,000. This is the last year. And this has been very low because I've posted pretty inconsistently to this channel. I've posted to other channels and stuff. If we go, I wonder if we can see lifetime. So for the last like 4 years, wow. For the last 4 years on this channel, I made £563,000. That's how much someone might make in about 20 years, and I made it in about 4. And that's like the low amount, like, you know, how much YouTube pays you is not like the big one. But let's just take the last 365 days, which was £36,000. So if we add that to this, which will probably be about $45,000. And then the big number we had before was like 1,393,000, boom, 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 equals a grand total of $1.5 million a year, divided by 12, $126,000 a month. This is legit, by the way. I know when someone shows you massive numbers like this, that 100% you could think like, wait, this is a lie, an exaggeration. You could actually go and do these calculations yourself if you go look at like my products and how many people are inside and whatever. But it's actually, I give you my word, I give you my absolute promise, that's actually very accurate. About 1.5 million a year. I've made over $1 million in profit a year since like I was 25 or 26 years old, for about 3 years in a row. It is absolutely crazy. You know why? I don't even work that hard. What's weird is a lot of people think you need to work hard to make a lot of money, you know, to make like 30K a year, 40, 50K a year, 100K a year. You know, most people, like probably not you anymore because you're watching like these videos, but most people think they need to work like really hard to make money. When actually you just need to work on the right things for a large amount of time and just level up your skills and probably work for about 10 hours a week. And this can be your reality. You know, the one last thing we can do actually is I calculated there was $126,000 a month divided. I probably work under 10 hours a week, but I'd probably say about 5 to 10 hours, but let's say 10 hours. So I probably work about 40 hours a week. So let's see now how much I make per hour of working. I make $3,150 per hour that I sit down to work. Almost no one even makes 10% as much as me per hour. Like no one I know from like, you know, back home, my hometown, normal people who aren't in making money online. Most people don't even make 10 times less than what I do per hour. That's $300 an hour. Almost no one makes that. A lot of people barely even make 100 times less than what I make an hour, $31.50. In fact, I don't know a single person back home who would make $31 an hour. Do you know anyone who makes $31 an hour? You know, when the minimum wage for most people is like £10 an hour or £8 an hour or whatever. I'm showing you this not to boast. I hope you can see from my energy, I'm really not trying to boast here. I just wanted to show you, give you exposure to think. It is quite literally physically impossible for you to make this much money from a job. You are not going to. There might be some jobs that happen to pay this much. If you're like working high up at Facebook or you're like the best neurosurgeon in the world or something, yeah, but like for you, for young people, the most you're gonna get paid is, bro, like maybe like 25, 30, 45K a year. That's it, like $20 an hour. And you're gonna have to slave for it and you're gonna have to work under a boss and whatever. It's not gonna be a job that gets you rich in your 20s. It's not gonna be a job that turns you into a millionaire in your 20s. It's going to be an online business. I'm showing you these numbers to show you. There's no exception to this rule. Now look, this is the disclaimer I'm going to give you. There's going to be someone watching this who's had a dream job, something like being like a vet or a doctor. He should go to university and he should go and get that dream job. But for most people watching this, for you and for younger me, we never really had a dream job. We just needed to make some money. When you don't have a dream job, you should not go to university. You should not be trying to make money from a job. You should then just try and make money from a business because businesses will make you way more money, way faster. Jobs are only good if that's something you've really wanted to do. Like you wanted to like work in that specific job. You've wanted to be a surgeon all your life. You wanted to be like a chiropractor or something. Okay, fine. That makes sense. Go ahead and do that. But if there isn't anything so clear to you, you may as well just choose to get into business because you can make so much more money and also working like 5-10 times less than the guys who are working in the jobs. So there's 5 business models that most young guys are considering: content creation, drop shipping, e-commerce, agency, and trading. I chose YouTube. And I remember when I was first getting started, I was wondering which business model to go into. Like, how do you make the choice? I just didn't know what to do with my life after I graduated from university. And finally, like the right answer struck me like lightning, where I looked at all the business models I was considering and I realized you can't choose which business to get into based on looking at the good things from any of these business models. Like, oh yeah, dropshipping is really good for making money. Oh yeah, YouTube is pretty good for making money. And this one's like, it's all the same. You're going to make money. You're going to get some status, whatever. What you have to do is look at the suffering that you'll go through when you'll get into one of these business models. So I thought about dropshipping and I was like, the suffering you go through is that it's purposeless. You're not helping the world. You're actually just like arbitraging Chinese products and giving a high delivery date, and your customers don't even like you, and you're just selling shit products that aren't even yours. And it's like, trading is the same thing. Trading, you're not actually helping the population. You're just going in trying to get a margin. I realized most of the ways that people are trying to make money online, they're so purposeless. And when I said to myself, you know what? You can make money from any way possible. Someone gets rich from any kind of business model. So instead of thinking about the money, think to yourself, if you were already a millionaire and you didn't really give a shit about money, what business would you do then? I thought about it. I was like, okay, if I was already a millionaire, if I was already making so much money that then I didn't really need to work for money, what work task would I do just for the sake of like fun or for helping people? To be like a purposeful, like mission-led young man. And I visualized waking up, sitting down, and recording YouTube videos, just giving advice to people. I thought to myself, you know what? If I was already rich, I'd still do this. And you know how smart that is? Because this was 5 years ago and I was sleep deprived. I was working a night shift job. Like my shift at work used to start at midnight in like this homeless shelter I used to work in. I used to take my laptop and try all these businesses through the shift. I had this idea 5 years ago that, oh yeah, if I was a millionaire, I'd still be recording YouTube videos. And it was absolutely true. 5 years after that point, I'm a millionaire in my 20s. I'm 28 years old. And I wake up and record these videos. What is it? It's 7 a.m. on a Monday. I just woke up, meditated, got ready, and I'm sat down here. I already passively make $1.5 million a year. And I'm still here just because this is so purposeful. This is going to help hundreds, thousands of guys who watch this. That's why I went into like content creation like YouTube. But starting YouTube or posting to any of the social media platforms can be so difficult because you don't know, okay, what to post, what kind of videos to make. Are you credible? Is anyone going to listen to you? Should you post like entertainment content or educational content? Like how do you even begin? When should you begin? When I was first posting videos to YouTube, I had all these doubts. I was like, wait, it's going to be cringe if I make videos. I'm going to talk about fitness, but I'm not even that big. There's guys who are bigger than me. I had all these doubts inside of me. I was also confused. I didn't even know like what topic to speak about. So let's go from the foundation. Step one is figuring out what should you talk about in your content? What topic should you talk about? And preferably it's one that you're credible in. It's one that you've made some progress in. So for example, if you've already built like a great physique, then you could talk about building the physique, fitness, muscle mass, fat loss, whatever. If you, for example, were depressed and you had really shitty mental health, but you don't anymore, then that could be the topic. If, for example, your screen time used to be like 5 hours, 10 hours a day, and now it's like 1 hour because you really focused on that, then that could be the topic that you constantly talk about. You right now hopefully should have a topic in your mind, like a goal that you've accomplished, thinking, you know what, I could talk about that. If you don't, come on. You've got to go and get some accomplishment, some progress in life. Making money from this type of business requires you to at least have like something that you've done in your life before this. And it might be as simple as just quitting video games or quitting porn. Just some kind of accomplishments that you've actually got, that you've actually made some progress in so that people have a reason to follow you. I'll never lie to you and say that, yeah, everyone can do great on content, because the way that I've become like a YouTuber has always been by teaching people things, but people will only want to be students of you if you've actually made at least some decent progress. So the topic that you can talk about is the one that you've achieved goals in already. But then you might be thinking, okay, there is some things that I've achieved, but they're not really that big. Why would anyone listen to me when, for example, I'm still pretty skinny, but I have like a nice six-pack now? Why would anyone listen to me when there's like big bodybuilders to listen to? And so this is step number 2, realizing that relatability has immense value. We could all go and listen to the big pro bodybuilders and the professors, but we don't. Why are you not watching videos from like a professor right now instead of me? It's because someone who's 10 times more credible than me will probably not speak to you in the way that's actually going to activate your brain and cause you to want to take action, because they're not going to speak to you in a way that you relate to, that you understand. They're not going to use the phrases that I do, that, the words and the way that I speak. We're close together, like me to you. That means that you have so much in common with me me and that you actually want to listen, compared to someone who's so far distant and he may have so much more experience, but then you don't really relate to him. So if you know roughly what topic you'd speak about, like it might be fitness for you because you've made great progress in your physique, but then you're feeling doubts because you're like, oh, but you know, like imposter syndrome, who am I to teach this because other guys are more jacked than me? But you're relatable to a select few people on the internet. They'll listen to you because they like your story, your personality more than others. Okay, now it's time to start posting. And a lot of guys will stop at this point because now it requires you to actually take action, and you'll think, okay, you know what, I'll start next week. You know what, I've got to buy a camera first, I'll start some other time. You know what, I'm not big enough, like, you know, my physique's not big enough, I'll start in the future. This is all bullshit. This is literally just all procrastination. If this is the business that you are considering, you need to literally, quite literally record your first YouTube video today, or your first TikTok or Instagram today, like literally right now. The guys with the biggest metaphorical balls, pause this video and record something and upload it right now, make it live. Because I promise you, that video is going to be a piece of shit. Let's just be honest, it's going to be shit, right? But it's the psychological effect of you already posting something that gives you this kind of win. It kind of like normalizes the act of posting something. The guys who don't post right away when they get the idea to become YouTubers, they never post and they literally procrastinate and just sort of think about it like fucking pussies for fucking years. And they have no balls. If you want to be like a 0 testicle man, keep thinking about it. If you want to be like a 2 big bald man, don't think about it anymore. Pause this video, record something. Just just teach one random lesson that comes into mind on the topic that you thought about. One random lesson. Just press record and say, oh, there's a lesson I want to give anyone who wants to achieve X goal. Just do this. And you tell them what the lesson was in like 5 minutes. Tell them what it was and tell them a quick story of how you learned it and how you implemented it and what your results look like. And then give them some encouragement at the end and just say, yeah, I really hope you take this tactic, you know, because it really helped me. And if it helps you, that's so awesome. Boom. That like 5-minute video, 10-minute video, 1 minute or 2 minute TikTok or Instagram short, whatever, just do that. Because the moment you've done that and you've posted something and it's went live, I promise 90% of all this bullshit procrastination just goes away. And you've actually like stepped up way more than everyone else. Can you imagine that there's people who think about going to the gym for months before they even sign up? Like, isn't that fucking pathetic? How people will think about doing a good habit. Oh, I'm thinking about starting a business. I'm thinking about going to the gym. Yeah, I'm thinking about meditating. Like, bro, what the fuck are you thinking about? You could literally do it in like 10 minutes. You fucking Jeffrey. Just fucking do it right now. Pause this video, go record the first bit of content, and then it's a fucking win. You literally clicked on this random Hamza video, and you've already taken a bigger step in your business than quite literally 95% of people who've wanted to start a business would ever take. Because most people are just Jeffreys. They're just procrastinators. They just think about it. It's time to take some fucking action. Just start posting from today. Once you've posted the first piece of content, you've broken the ice. You've like lost your virginity, and now it's like so much easier. So step number 4 is now get consistent. I would say upload a YouTube video every other day. Upload a Instagram short and TikTok every day. That's like not much work at all, bro. 3 YouTube videos a week, 7 shorts, which is posted to TikTok and Instagram together, like, you know, the same shorts. 3 YouTube videos, 7 shorts, bro. You could do that in literally like 2 to 3 hours. You could be done with your sort of business work for the week. Simple. All you have to do is press record, give a bit of advice, like tell them some kind of tactic that they can use, tell a story of how you learned that tactic, and then give them some encouragement to use the tactic. That's all you have to do for now. You could literally go right now and batch record 3 YouTube videos and 7 shorts, literally, and you could be done before even like 1 hour from now, honestly. Like, think about that. And that's a week's worth of your sort of business work just done. Most people would procrastinate this for years, and you might just go and do the first week's worth of your business task in the next like 55 minutes. Like, that's a fucking win. If you've got 2 testicles, pause this video right now and just fucking grind that out. 3 YouTube videos, 7 shorts. And then once you've done that, schedule them to be released, upload them onto the platforms, give it a nice title, schedule it for like, you know, today, then schedule the next YouTube video for like 2 days from now, then 2 days from then, you know, every other day, schedule the short every day at peak time for you. Maybe it's like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. in your country. And you've got the next week's worth of content done, and it took you maybe about an hour to just do this. It's so much easier than you realize, right? You're basically like the equivalent of like a guy who doesn't go to the gym. You don't have to overthink it. You just have to step foot inside of the gym and just familiarize yourself with a few of the movements, and you'll be making some progress for the first couple of weeks. You don't even have to script the video. You don't have to think about it. Just fucking show up to the gym, right? Just show up on the platform. Now you just need to keep hitting this upload schedule more, but you've got the next week to level up some of your skills. So step number 5 can be, okay, we'll get better. Now you've done the bare minimum. Now you're just showing up to the gym. Now it's time to level up one of your skills. And I'd suggest the first skill to level up is the ideas that you actually talk about. You know, the title, like what you're actually talking about. If you just change the idea, that piece of content can do so much better. And the best way to do this is for you to just go go and see other people who are in like a similar niche to you. Like for example, if you're in like fitness, teaching people how to build muscle, you'd go to a few channels that also have the same topic, look at some of their most popular videos, see their titles, and then basically just like copy 90% of their title. You might change a word or two. You know, the fastest way to get from skinny to jacked, you might change it to the easiest way or the cheapest way or whatever. Basically, you don't really copy what they're saying in their videos, but you don't take the idea because the idea is well received by the internet, by the culture. And now you're making a video on a topic that people have already kind of watched millions of times. And this is already like, you've honestly become like a top 10% creator already just by following this piece of advice in like the last 5 steps. I promise, if you do this for a year straight, whilst also leveling up your credibility in the topic that you're talking about. So if you're talking about fitness, make sure you keep getting more fit. If you're talking about screen time, make sure you keep learning about, you know, dopamine and whatever, and lowering your screen time. If you just keep posting like this and you level up your credibility, in 1 year, it is absolutely reasonable for you to hit a month where you've made $2,000 in that month from this business. Like, just this simple. Think about that for a second. And you know I'm not lying to you because I didn't say 50K a month, even 10K a month. But 1 year, very reasonable for you to start making like a full-time wage from this. 2 to 3 years, you might hit your first 10K month. Which again, look, I could lie to you like everyone else does in these like finance money videos who says like, oh yeah, you know, you can make 10K in like 3 months or whatever. No, in 2 to 3 years, if you hit a 10K, like $10,000 month, that's fucking insane. Most people never make 10K in their entire lives, including doctors and whatever. So if you hit that in like 3 years, as long as you don't quit, as long as you keep posting and getting better, that's very reasonable. You've just got to keep going, even though you'll get some hate comments, even though sometimes you get moments of doubt and you won't get views. As long as you don't quit, if you just stick to that upload schedule, 2 to 3 years from now, you'll have your first $10,000 month, which is insane. But you might be thinking, okay, well, how do you actually make money from this? Because the money you get paid from these platforms is not that much. I made, like, you know, Hamza made most of his money from those programs he was selling. What should you sell? I always recommend people to just sell more education. So people follow you because they like your advice. They like your content. And people will literally pay you to get more of that kind of content that's more exclusive and private. So people like my YouTube videos. In my programs, basically this kind of like extended, longer, way more detailed guides inside of the paid programs, and people love to pay for them. People really think that's like a great product to pay. When I first heard this and I first started to sell programs like this, I was shocked. I was like, why the fuck would anyone pay me to just like, you know, for videos that are basically just like YouTube videos? But it doesn't fucking matter what we think. People literally will pay. Because think about it, how often have you heard people say that, you know, someone's content changed their life? You've seen people comment like, oh, Hamza's videos changed my life. Loads, right? That's like not even like that crazy of a thing for people to comment like, oh, this guy's content changed my life. That's free YouTube videos that people are saying that really change their lives. You might even feel that way about me. You might even think, yeah, like Hamza's free YouTube videos changed my life. Now imagine if these YouTube videos are like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 for my sort of level of effort. And imagine the big programs that I make are more like 9.5, 10 out of 10 for my level of effort that I've put in, the intention, the length, the detail of those guides that I've put, you know, like the step-by-step videos that I make here, but they're like way better in the paid program. Then imagine you see the price of the paid program. It's affordable. And you think to yourself, yeah, it is like content, you know, it's like a video. And it seems weird to pay for like more videos of Hamza. But if you already think, okay, my videos changed your life, and now you see something that it's like my videos on steroids, you're thinking, yeah, fuck it, you know what, I can afford it. And if his videos have already helped me, then this thing will help me even further. People buy this. Like, think about how interesting that is. People, when they like you, they will literally want to pay you for like more of your content. So who are we to think like, yeah, you know, no one's gonna do that? Because they just do. So this is what you do. You'd grow like an audience of people who like you from your content, and then you'd make like these big step-by-step guides, which instead of being like, you know, a 10-minute YouTube video, it's more like a 4-hour long step-by-step guide. It's like the most detailed piece of work you've made for the topic you speak about. And people will literally pay you like $30, $50, $100, $200 just to get access to that guide and that program and just keep watching it. And especially if you add like extra sort of bonuses in there where now they can talk to each other inside of the program, so they're with other guys who are serious. Like in my program, Library of Adonis, I've got over like 10 really, really detailed guides on topics like sex and dating and masculinity and looks maxing, physique, whatever. So guys who already like my videos, they see that they're all available in there and they're like, okay, this is cheap enough. Yeah, fuck it, I'll buy it. But then they stay inside of the community because there's thousands of guys in there who are talking about self-improvement and supporting each other, and they're thinking like this is like a healthy version of social media where everyone is actually like on self-improvement, going to the gym. So people actually pay for this stuff like way more than you realize. When you've got a bit of an audience, you'll make one of these programs, and when you get your first sale, it's so hype. Like every day one of my students in my other program, it's called Educational Content Creators. Every day one of my students gets his first sale ever. He's just made $47 for the first time ever, like online. And he's going crazy in the post and everyone's supporting him. And that's such a beautiful moment. You can make some money from these platforms when you just post, but the real money is going to come when you sell something like this to your audience, with like the links in your bio. This is exactly what I did back in 2020, 2021 to first start making money. I started so broke, I couldn't even afford to get haircuts. I had to like shave my own head. I had to get free money from the government, like 200, 300 pounds a month, because I had like no money at all. I was just posting videos consistently, building up a bit of an audience. And then I started to sell programs and I shot through 10K a month, 15K a month, 20, 25. The most I've ever made in 1 month was like $220,000 in 1 month from this, what I've just taught you today. This is like an unpatched tactic that still works right now. And obviously there's so much more to growing a business like this. There's so many more lessons to learn, and it's awesome if you can get like feedback from someone who's more experienced and stuff. But just what I've taught you today is enough to set you in the right direction so you have like a fantastic path ahead of you. Making money online was such a fantastic part of my self-improvement journey, and I really wish that for you. Thank you for watching this. I really hope you'll take action on this. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.